was such a strong masculine character and he's white and male and rich, I think eventually they were going to get canceled. Like that's like the idea of that guy being that masculine and that good with women was not an image that...
It's a little hard to describe exactly what you do and teach, right?
Yeah.
Like there's always like, it's not like, hey, there's this one exact thing that you teach, whether that's like dating, whether that's networking, whether that's event throwing, I hear that from people all the time. Like, but as we have been talking off camera, there is one term that sums up all of it, right? Whether that's the dating aspect, being attractive, becoming a leader, putting on events. A term that we talked about mutually over watching Suits is, I think what you teach guys how to do is to be the guy who gets it. And I think if that sums up everything that you teach, it's that term. So talk about being the guy who gets it versus being the guy who doesn't get it.
Yeah, so
that's the biggest problem a lot of guys face.
Yeah, I'm going to use club promoters as an example, and not because they're better people, but because they have so much social pressure on them all the time that they get very socially calibrated very quickly. The same thing I'm going to say about like door guys in Las Vegas. They quickly, if you guys have ever gone to a nightclub in Las Vegas and they turn you away, it's because you don't get it. And they quickly can tell when you're full of shit. Club hosts at excess, they can quickly tell when you're full of shit, like in 2 seconds. Yeah. You think you're fooling them, you're not. In New Balance shoe, you're not coming in. We can look at you and tell you just don't get it. You're like your little dad jokes and you're like, we know you don't get it. You're not coming in. The thing that I learned from watching those people who get it, so I'll give you the easy way to explain it. The easy way to explain it is to watch Californication and to watch Hank Moody. Hank Moody is a perfect example of a guy who gets it. Yeah. The best example of all time on television is the contrast between Harvey Specter and Litt. And they wrote him that way. Litt doesn't get it. He's overly emotional. He acts very feminine. In fact, if you saw Litt and didn't know that he was a heterosexual, you might assume he's a homosexual.
But Mike, he's such a nice guy.
Yeah, but because he's super nice. His morality is totally led by his emotions. Yeah, and like he will break his morality for his loyalty to his friends, and then he'll break his loyalty to his friends in basis of his own feelings. Like he has no control. There's no central like ethos for him. But he's also very competent at his job, which is rare for somebody like Litt.
If anything, he's a better lawyer than Harvey.
For sure. But the thing is, people like Litt don't really exist. People who are that emotionally like invested in everything they do don't become financial attorneys. Yeah. He's way too unstable. Harvey is perfect in that he is always stoic. He always acts masculine. He always has the right answer, and he never lets anything affect him. And even when beautiful women are like, Harvey, I'm in love with you, he's like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. Harvey doesn't cheat on women. Like, infidelity is like the biggest faux pas for him, which is crazy for when you consider an attorney like that who makes $500,000 a year working in Manhattan. That guy's probably going to run through like 70 models a week. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But like Harvey doesn't do that. And like, so Harvey is the Harvey Litt comparison is the perfect example of do I get it or do I not get it? So whenever I have people ask me, what does get it mean? Because it's so esoteric. I say, are you closer to Harvey or are you closer to Lewis in your behavior? A girl stood you up. You're like, I can't believe you stood me up. I can't believe that's so. You're texting. I'm so in capital letters. It's so irresponsible that you did that. There's no accountability. Are you closer to Lewis? Or are you closer to Harvey? Yeah. Harvey wouldn't give two if he got stood up because he'd have 3 other on the back burner. Yeah. That's the difference. Harvey is about abundance, and Lewis is about scarcity. Yeah. And so when you watch that, it's very clear because you're watching it through Mike Ross's spectrum, and Mike has both of them in it. Mike gets overly emotional. He makes stupid decisions because of his emotions, but he's also can be stoic and extremely analytical like Harvey. And so you watch the two of them together, and you can kind of see like the dichotomy between the two. You want to be the guy who gets it. I personally think part of the reason why Suits got canceled, and I know it's partially because, Patrick Adams didn't want to be on the show anymore in the Meghan Markle situation. But I also think because Harvey was such a strong masculine character and he's white and male and rich, I think eventually they were going to get canceled. Like that's like the idea of that guy being that masculine and that good with women was not an image that people wanted to see on television anymore. That's why you don't see The Sopranos anymore. This is why like that type of image, even Breaking Bad, those type of images, you're not going to see them anymore. I know Californication, they could never bring it back.
Oh my God, not even close.
Californication was about Hank Moody, who was an author, and the guy would basically, it was like the first couple of seasons, he would walk into a room, he'd talk to a girl, blah, blah, and the next scene he's just like her. And like it was like happened over and over again, and he would say the funniest. He always knew the right thing to say. Yeah. He if you guys want to know, I'll tell you right now, there's one ring on my finger and I wear a black t-shirt. Why is that? It's because of Hank Moody. Hank Moody always dressed the same way every time. He always wore all black. He always he was just this scoundrel who like every woman wanted to cheat on their husband with this guy. It was always the same thing with this guy. He never put in any effort. Women chased him. He would occasionally chase women, but he knew how to flirt in a way that was like attractive. And if he ever did go direct, he was funny and extremely calibrated. Hank Moody gets it. because Hank Moody gets it, that's why that show got canceled.
And actually, now shows are going to actually not only not make shows like that, they're going to make shows showing the opposite, like Hitch, or like these shows where it's like the guy is super beta, super feminine, like is the nice guy, and he actually wins. And we know in reality that doesn't fucking happen.
So just so you know, like Hitch is a terrible when we talk about media giving you the wrong example, Hitch is one of the greatest examples of that. And it's funny because people call me Hitch whenever someone says, "Oh, you're like Hitch." I'm like, no, I don't teach you how to be attractive to one woman. That's called stalking. Being attractive to one woman, that's called sexual harassment.
Yeah.
Being attractive to all women and having the girl of your dreams pursue you, that's called game.
Right.
And by the way, game is real whether or not you like it or not. If you don't want to play Michael, I'm just tired of this thing where I have to show status all the time and I just want to relax, you can do that and it's fine. Like you don't have to play the game. Like you don't have to believe in gravity. If someone pushes you off a balcony, you're still going to die. If you don't believe in game, it doesn't make any difference how good you feel about yourself or how noble you think you are because you're authentic to yourself. Women will still not be attracted to you because you're not concerned with the things that women are concerned with.
Yeah. This is another thing. This is one that gets me, and I see it just all the time where it's like, guys will come to me, they'll come up to you, and they'll be like, look, man, like, I want to go to higher value parties. I want to be a better networker. I want to meet other girls and everything like that. But they're like, I don't like the gym stuff. I don't like the social media stuff. I don't want to go out to nightclubs. Yeah. It's too loud. And I'm like, bro, like, so stay in your basement. Yeah, just stay that way forever. So the world's not going to pull you out of it.
For those hyper-logical guys who say the things that you're saying, those objections, I want you to consider, we're going to use something super logical, free market economies. Do you understand? The guy that is going to have sex with the girl of your dreams, first of all, it won't be you, but the guy who's going to have sex with her, he is good in clubs. He is louder than you. He did go to the gym. He did make his business a priority. And when beautiful women come up to him, he doesn't stutter. He does. Like, I have to present it like that because guys are like, oh, I just want to do this and then want to manufacture some incredible woman. I'm like, would you you? Look in the mirror, bro. Like, you wouldn't you. So why do you think other women would? It's like you have no empathy for the opposite sex. Like Patton said, the enemy gets a vote too. Like this concept, one of the biggest problems is these men think I'm just going to enter stimulus into the equation and then women will automatically want to have sex with me. Like it's some robotic it's like some code you're compiling or something like that. It doesn't work like that. What happens is she needs to look back at you and be like, this is a man worthy of me doing this thing that I don't want to do with a lot of men. Women are not as interested. I don't care what. I would love to do a debate on this. Women are not. It does not matter because fucking patriarchy. It's genetics. Women are not interested in multiple sexual partners or sexual variety to the extent that men are. In fact, I was listening to William Costello say this a couple days ago. It is of the dimorphic differences between men and women. The desire for sexual variety is 2 standard deviations wider for men than it is women. Meaning the median guy, the median level of sexual variety that the median guy wants puts him in the top 97% of women. But like the top 3% of women. That's how much sexual variety that men want in compared to women. It's 2 standard deviations.
So it's not because of the patriarchy, is what you're saying.
Well,